Before I ever thought about beauty as something you could name, it was just a part of life. It was around me, quiet, familiar. It wasn't something we talked about out loud, and it definitely wasn't something we put on display. It just existed in the background of everyday moments. Growing up in Mississippi, I didn't see beauty the way it's usually shown. It wasn't polished nor packaged. It didn't look like what I saw on TV or in magazines. It lived in how people showed up, and how they took care of themselves before stepping outside, and how they held their heads no matter what they were carrying. There was rhythm to it. Mornings had pace. The evenings had a certain softness to them. Getting ready wasn't rushed. It was intentional. It was a way of saying, I'm here, I matter, even if nobody else is looking. I didn't have the language for it back then. I just watched and I paid attention. I learned without realizing I was learning. And somewhere along the way, those moments settled into my body, into my hands, into how I move through the world now. Maybe that's why I'm here now. Not to explain where I'm from, but to sit with it, to listen and to remember. To say thank you to the land, the people, the rituals that shaped me before I ever had the language for it. This is me tracing the outline of something that's always been inside me. This is the beauty of being from here. A lot of times when we think of beauty, we think of vanity, mirrors, makeup, and just how we look overall to other people. But for me, beauty was something that I learned way before all of that. It was in the way my grandma always made sure she looked her best before leaving the house, in the way my mom kept moving throughout her day no matter what she had going on, and in the way I learned how to carry myself without even realizing I was being taught. To me, beauty just isn't about how you look, it's about how you move, how you carry yourself, and the little lessons that stick with you.
I think it's deeply rooted in culture. I think it's rooted in Southern hospitality. I think it's rooted in good food.
It's just raw, it's unfiltered.
I grew up in Mississippi where beauty was never a magazine spread. It was more so baked into the rituals and the culture that we all shared. It was baked into like the songs that we heard. It was baked into, the family cookouts, into those moments that we shared. It was in the way that I watched my family get ready before they presented themselves to the world. Those moments, they weren't about being seen. They were about care. They were about respect. They were about showing up with intention. They told me without words that I mattered, that my skin, my hair, my presence was something to be honored. Beauty wasn't loud, but it was deliberate and it was practice. I remember watching my mom flat iron her hair before work. Sometimes she would let me wash it or even try a little bit of the flat ironing. I didn't really think about it then, but those little moments stuck with me. Those early days taught me rhythm, patience, and observation. Even when I didn't fully understand it, I felt it. Looking back now, I see how much of that I carry with me, how those small everyday acts became lessons of pride. And it's those lessons and those rituals that I want to trace, to show that beauty isn't just surface, it's cultural, it's inherited.
The South raised me to see beauty in blackness, culture.
I think my ancestors would define beauty as survival. I think they would define beauty as community. There's so much beauty in community and just being amongst people who see you, who understand you, who want the best for you as you want the best for them.
When I was growing up, I don't think anyone ever called it beauty. It wasn't about makeup or being seen. It was in the way we moved throughout our day, the little habits we carried, and the care we gave to ourselves and each other.
I've always been drawn to the South because of just the hospitality that the South evokes.
The South for me is home. It feels like home. The South feels like a hug. The South feels like family. I just think about a great time. I think about my childhood.
Sometimes it's washing your face slowly, feeling the water on your skin, paying attention to yourself. Sometimes it's tending to your hair the way you admire other family members doing, and remembering those moments as a way to honor them. It's not flashy, but it matters. Those small acts became my way of grounding myself and of practicing who I wanted to be. It was in my family, the little ways they carried themselves, the small touches that showed pride, care, and attention. It's something that's often overlooked in media. The South rarely gets credit for this quiet strength, this attention to self that isn't about showing off, but it's there in how we hold ourselves and how we carry those rituals forward.
the way we dress to go to church. That's the South. Like, and when we see those things in like church culture, big hats that's the South. That's the South. The South influences so much the way we speak, how we talk. We influence everything.
I think those things are very subtle too. I think when you're living in Mississippi, it feels very subtle. I don't think you, because it's tradition. It's something that you're used to. It's something that to me makes me be like a proud Mississippian. When I think of Southern people, I think of safety. You would be taken care of. I think, the beauty in just being Southern is just like we can just be so warm and welcoming, and we have this natural ability to protect people. Even to this day for me, like being someone who's very social, if I see somebody like alone by themselves, I feel inclined to speak to them and just talk to them and have a conversation just so like, the hope is like they're not feeling lonely. And I definitely just think like you can say like that's like an extrovert, an extrovert thing, but I definitely think it's rooted in just being Southern.
I think the South, in one word, is resilient.
Resilience doesn't always look like survival. Sometimes it looks like a routine, like choosing yourself in small ways, even when no one's watching. That's where care lives for me. For me, these moments are about claiming space, claiming myself, and I don't have to explain it, I just do it. And in doing it, I feel a connection to those who taught me and also myself and a part of myself that is still figuring out and navigating the world. Beauty to me isn't always decoration, it's deliberate, it's practice. And it carries a kind of quiet power that I want to make sure I honor every day in the way that I show up in the world. I'm standing here now in a life that I've made of my own, carrying all those practices I've learned that have shaped me into the person I am today. Beauty isn't just what you see in the mirror, it's how you show up for yourself. It's how you honor your skin, your hair, your hands, your spirit. It's how you hold on to what was given to you and what you have created on your own.
When you move to places where you don't see yourself a lot, it is so rewarding going back to a city like Jackson where you do see yourself. And when I tell you representation is so important, it feeds my soul in a way that I'm reminded that it is a good thing to be Black and it is a good thing to be amongst Black people. I think in the South, like we just have this natural inclination to nurture and to protect and to hold people together and to make sure people feel safe.
When I think back to the South, Mississippi specifically, I see my lessons everywhere in the way my family prepared for their days. And I see that same care, that same intentionality in the way that I move throughout my own life today. These practices, these daily acts are power, they are pride, they are beauty. And they belong to us, our families, our culture, our history. They are proof that even when the world try to overlook us, we learn to see ourselves as worthy. I don't think I realized how much of this was shaping me while it was happening. At the time, it just felt like life, like routine, like doing what needed to be done to get through the day. I wasn't thinking about legacy or culture or meaning. I was just watching, learning, absorbing things without knowing they'd come back to me later. Now I can see how much of who I am was built in those quiet moments. Not the big milestones, but the everyday stuff. How you get ready, how you take care of yourself, how you carry your body into a room. There's a lot I didn't understand back then, a lot I couldn't name, but I felt it, and I still feel it now. When I slow down, when I take my time, when I'm intentional with myself, it doesn't feel new. It feels familiar, like something I've been doing my whole life without realizing it. I'm not trying to recreate the past, I'm just noticing how it lives in me, how it shows up in my habits, my routines, the way I move through the world. This life I'm living now feels earned, not because it's perfect, but because it's mine, because it's built from things I was given and things I've chose to keep. And standing here, I can finally say I understand where I come from, not just geographically, but in how I show up every day for myself. I'm learning every day to hold on to that and to carry it forward, to honor the hands and voices that taught me, to celebrate the life that shaped me, to continue becoming the beauty I was always meant to be, rooted, proud, and alive.